If you're thinking about moving to Boca Raton, Florida, this is a video for you. This week, we're going to not only talk about what it's like to live in Boca Raton, we're going to also talk about one of these unique projects taking out place a little bit west of downtown. It's called the Lotus Project. Yes, I made that Lotus Project up. It's really involved. There's a lot going on here. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. We help people relocate to this beautiful area we call Palm Beach and all of South Florida. But today I got something I like to think is pretty special. This community, we're in front of Lotus Palm this morning. This community opened August of 2022. It's a little bit over a year old, and it's almost sold out. More on those numbers, but there is an excitement about what's going on here in the western part of Boca Raton, Florida. 17 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find honor to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. I say that pretty much every week, but I want to say this. When we looked down here in Florida, Boca Raton was one of the places we focused on. You need a little bit more money to live here in Boca Raton relative to the rest of West Palm Beach. Average price of a home in Palm Beach as a whole, in Palm Beach County, is $600,000. You will need more of a budget if you're going to live here in Lotus Palm. So if you're thinking about relocating to this area or anywhere in Florida, and you want advice, you have questions, you want to ask those of people who've actually done this before, well, there's a few ways to get a hold of us here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida. One way is down below, you see our email. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number, but literally two of the best ways is in the description and the comment section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll connect us either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here to sunny South Florida. We've helped so many people relocate to Florida, and we absolutely love it. Now, I said I called this the Lotus Project. That was a term I made up, literally. There's a few Lotuses, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that periodically. I want to also get to what it's like living in Boca Raton. But Lotus Palm is their current community that they're selling. They had, but prior to this, a community just called Lotus. There are still homes available in Lotus. There are some quick delivery homes that are technically sold out, but if you were interested in those, I'd love to help you. There's about 8 homes or so. I have to check the actual numbers, and it changes daily. But they're selling this, and out this way, a little bit north and a little bit west of here, they have a new Lotus Project, which is another one that's going to be completely insane. I don't know what it is. If you live in New York, or I know when I lived in New York, I knew Boca Raton. I might not have heard of Lantana. I might not have heard of Palm Beach Gardens, but I knew of Boca Raton. Most people, for whatever reason, know Boca Raton. There is a lot here. It is a big city. If you go to the eastern part of the city, there's the downtown area, a lot of traffic, but a lot to do there. The central part, which we are just slightly west of the central part, there's the Boca Town Center Mall, one of the premier malls in all of South Florida. High-end retailers. It competes with the Gardens Mall up in Palm Beach Gardens. But also, because they started running out of room out that way, they started running west. And West Boca now is a hub of activity, not just for construction and residential, and commercial. There is just a ton to do here. What's great about this location I'm standing on right now is it is so convenient. You are literally down this way. You are literally once you get to the entrance here, and more on that in a second, once you get to the front of this entrance, you are right there by the turnpike. So if you need to go to Miami, if you want to go to Fort Lauderdale, you can do it like that. It is a quick ride up. It's a quick ride that way. The turnpike is the easiest and best way, most effective way to go north and south in this part of Florida. As you can see, there's a lot of construction coming through here. I just waved to the guy. These guys are great. These guys work hard for us. there is a ton of construction here. While they are like getting close to selling out here, there's hardly any homes really finished and built. If you want to buy a home in this community, it takes a little bit of a while. Everything that's left currently is a to-be built home. In other words, you build it from scratch, and it'll take approximately a year to build that home if that's what you want to do, if you want to live here in Boca Raton, Florida. So I'm going to cut right to the chase pricing, because lots of times I wait till the end and people get, I think they probably get upset. If this is not in your budget, I understand. And if that's something, if that's the reason you want to watch the rest of this video, I'll understand that too. But again, you're going to need a little bit more money if you're living here in Lotus Palm. On the low end, the homes, if you look at the website, the base model is $1.3 million. Realistically speaking, you're looking at about $1.4 million. The land lots really are pretty low for this community. There are actually zero-priced lots. They have lots going up to over $100,000. Now, for a community like this, that's pretty good. I go up to Avenir and I see some lots that are priced in the 300s, in the 600,000s. So realistically speaking, most of the homes here, you can get a nice home here for about $1.5 million. You're in a prime location in Palm Beach. This is one of the nicest locations in all of Palm Beach. It's prestigious. When people think of Boca Raton, they think of wealth. They think of prestige. And Boca Raton, Lotus Palm, is one of the best ways to get in to that high-end community in a high-end town. There are 525 homes here in this community. Their HOA is a little bit on the higher side, but they have a lot here. The clubhouse is not even done yet. I mean, I normally, when I go to these communities, I normally like to film from the clubhouse, at least show you. But it's they sold these things so fast that there's nothing to really show you. I will tell you, there's a lot to do. I have a sheet. If you're interested, reach out. Maybe I'll show it later in the video. That there's a lot of stuff to do here. Pickleball, as you know, is really big. They'll have that. That's been one of the highlights when it comes to like events and amenities that they have here. The HOA is $715 per month. Now, people might say that's high, but if you look at what it includes, it's really not. I always challenge people: don't judge an HOA by its cover, because I see people who spend $200 an HOA and they get nothing for it. I see people that spend over $700 and they get nothing for it, or possibly in a case like this, they can spend $700 and get a whole lot, and it is worth it. So I'm standing here in the entrance. It's still under construction, but as you could see here, that's the Lotus Palm sign. It goes way back there. They spend $9 million on this entrance. One of the highlights of this community is that it's on Glades Road. If you look at a map of Boca Raton, Glades Road is like the Fifth Avenue, I guess, except it goes east to west. It's like the middle of Boca. It is the main street, one of the main streets, if not the main street off that goes through Boca. You can get to Glades Road from Glades Road. That's where this goes, right down there. That's how you can get this community. This is the only new construction community that is actually on Glades Road. These days, the builders are providing a lot of incentives, and there's no exception here. The thing is here that they're selling so fast. Don't expect to get a great deal from the perspective that you're going to be able to bid lower. They're selling fast enough. They don't have to. If you use their lender, which is a GL Financial, there's or pay cash. There's a significant incentive. Most builders are doing that, but GL Homes, we do a lot of business here. Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we do a lot of business with GL Homes, and I feel they're one of the strongest builders here in South Florida. So I'm going to go through some of the models. I have my little cheat sheet here I'm going to use. They have basically two collections here. The lower collection is called the Fiji collection, and in that collection, the smallest model is called the Bermuda. They quote this at $1.35 million, as I mentioned. That is the base price. Doesn't take into account the price for the land and/or options which you're likely to want. So that's sort of things. When you go to a website, by the way, That's what they do. When you go to any of these builders' websites, they only show you the base price. They don't really give you a realistic price. Realistically speaking, if you want to move here to Lotus Palm, you're going to probably pay somewhere in the 1.5 million range. We live in Realville here living in Palm Beach, and we like to get people to understand what they're getting themselves into. So when I quote prices, generally speaking, I like to tell people what they can do. They can comfortably get in. Comfortably, you need to spend about $1.5 million to get into this beautiful community. All right, that was the lowest price model. Now let's go to the upper collection. It's called the Valley Collection. And funny enough, you would think that this would not sell as well, but believe it or not, one of the most popular models that they sell is their most expensive model. It's called the Maldives. The Maldives is 5,177 square feet under air. When we say under air in Florida, that's what we call like living space in most places around the country. The base price of that home is approximately $2.2 million. Obviously, you have the land and all that. And believe it or not, that is one of the most popular models we have here at Lotus. It's also a model at Lotus. More on that in a second. Let you know a little insight to that. As one of the most populars here at Lotus, there's no doubt it will be in that new Lotus community I was telling you about as part of the Lotus project. It's definitely one of the most popular models here at Lotus Palm. It turns out the Maldives model over at the original Lotus is right now for sale. When you buy a model house, and I know I get a lot of people asking about that, and which is good because it's easy to move in. You normally get the furniture included with it. You get all the immense upgrades and whatnot. They have that model currently for sale at just under $3 million. So if you're interested in inquiring about that, reach out to our team. Love to let you know what's involved when it comes to buying a model home, whether it's here in Boca Raton and Lotus or anywhere else here in Florida. If you were to build from scratch, that Maldives model is about $2.2 million. So if you're looking at, like I was saying, if you're looking at that model home, that model they actually showed when they were showcasing the community, that's actually, I think, a pretty good deal. So I talked about incentives. One of the most popular incentives that builders are doing today are what they call as rate buy downs. This builder not necessarily do it, but if you want to know more about that, I want to mention this because it's a popular concept. Interest rates are higher. They're over 7% now, and what people want to be is more comfortable with the interest rate they're currently paying. Reach out to our team. I'd love to tell you more about that. They have incentives here, but I want to mention one of the ways you can in working with new construction. One of the ways you can get ask for incentives is through a rate buy down to get your mortgage rate lower than the current rates, which are roughly a little bit north of 7%. So I was talking about the amenities. So here, one of the ways you look at a community is here's the guardhouse. More of the higher end communities have a guardhouse like this because they have a manned gate. You've seen some of my other new construction communities, such as Arden, such as Westlake. They have what they call a virtual gate. At the high-end, ultra-high-end communities, a lot of them have this, which is a guard gate. It actually has a little stand there. So if they decide later on that they want to convert this to a virtual, they can. But it's nice to have this, and a lot of the better communities are doing this. They're building the guardhouse so that if they don't want it that in the future, they can possibly eliminate it. But it's good to have. Some people feel a little bit more secure and someone is at your front door, so to speak, watching who's coming in and who's coming out of your beautiful community. So we do a ton of relocations. If you follow our channel, you know that. That's our main business, is we help people come from other areas, move to here in Palm Beach, Florida, and other surrounding areas. We do cover from Miami to Port St. Lucie. One of the things I want to say is that most of the people who are buying here now in Florida, we do existing homes as well. Don't get me wrong. Some people ask me, are you a realtor and do you do existing homes? The answer is yes and yes. I am a licensed realtor, Ray Fernandez. I run living in Palm Beach, Florida, but I am a licensed realtor and I do existing homes. But the reason I focus a lot on new construction is a couple reasons. A, it's what you guys are asking for. Most people who are relocating here are asking for new construction, number one. Number two, it's more affordable today to do new construction, especially with the current debacle with homeowners insurance. You can get a new construction home like this. You can get your insurance premium will be literally a third of what you would pay if you were to buy a home that's, let's say, 15 years old. So we see more than anything, when it comes to people relocating to this area, more and more people choose to look at new construction homes over existing homes. Again, Boca is one of the premier areas here in Palm Beach. And if you're going to move here, you are somewhat limited when it comes to new construction. I've mentioned Lotus. This is Lotus Palm, and there's a new community coming up that's going to be really exciting. I have some details. It's not been announced anywhere yet. You're probably hearing here first, but it's going to be the third Lotus community here in the Boca Raton area. We help people considering looking at this area all the time. But I will say this, if you walk into one of these sales centers on your own, without any guidance, I think you're absolutely crazy. We here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, what we do is we help you with independent representation. We highly recommend independent representation. I'm going to take my little cheat sheet here because there's a lot when it comes to this new community that they have going. First off, there's no name for it yet. It's going to be Lotus something likely. Even that's not really been declared, so to speak. But it's going to be in this area. It's not going to have the entrance like this one does, which is off Glades Road. That's one of the maybe drawbacks you could say. But it's going to be just west of here. It's going to be right next to the school. If you look at a map, Olympic Heights, which is an A-rated school here in the western Boca Raton area. In total, they're going to have a total of 650 homes. They will have, the entrance is going to be, one entrance is going to be on Lyons Road, and one entrance is going to be on Route 441 or State Road 7. Those are two of the main roads that go north or south. So it's going to be nice. And like everything that GL Homes does, the entrance, I would expect it to be like this. Pretty nice. I mean, even up in Avenir, if you look at all the entrances of all the communities, GL Homes, which is just getting started, ready to open later this month, they will have the nicest entrance in Avenir. So go to speak. They spend $9 million on this entrance, so you expect them to have the similar entrance when it comes to that place. One of the interesting things is there's a synagogue right south of Route 95 in that area, and there's a private road just north of it. And they're going to make that sort of like a bridge area that goes to a walkable area from Glades Road. So you can pretty much walk that from that area all the way up into the community, which is going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be a main attraction for a lot of people here who want to buy in Palm Beach and are focusing on Boca Raton, Florida. So one of the things they did with this entrance here in Lotus Palm is this road here they call Golf Course Road. Back there is Glades Road, the main road through Boca. They have this going through some established older homes here. They cut right through it. They beautified this Golf Course Road, and so to make this gorgeous entrance. So it's one of the things that sort of stands out when it comes to moving and looking at homes here in Lotus Palm. So if we had to guess, I met with one of the builders here recently, a few days ago now. If we had to guess, and it's purely a guess because the people way up at GL don't really disclose a whole lot when they don't have to. if we had to guess, that community will open sometime early next year. So figure about another few months. But as we get more information, we'll let you know. Reach out to our team. If you want to get on our Palm Beach, we do a newsletter that comes out right before our videos come out every Thursday. And we do a newsletter that comes out in the afternoon. If you want to get on that, reach out to our team. We'd love to send it to you. In a Palm Beach Tale, we talk about the upcoming video. It's a short thing. We just have a couple of highlights about what's going on. Like as an example, today's one that's going to come out later, we talk about the high percentage of people that are buying with cash. We talk about an increase in activity that we've seen since the last numbers. I predict that when the numbers come out this next month, they will be a little bit higher based upon what I see. I track the numbers closer than the most real estate professionals do. I do have I'm a former Wall Street trader. I have a degree. I have a background in finance, a degree in finance, and a background in finance. So I look at this stuff closer than most people do. Listen, when you buy a home, it's an investment. For many people, it's your largest investment. So I think it's important to work with someone who understands that. We look to help you. We want to do what's right for you. And market value and your largest investment is one of the main objectives you should have, and we have for you. The process to get in these communities. In Lotus, the first Lotus, there are 8 quick delivery spec homes. If you want a good deal, that is the best way. You can get an outstanding deal because GL Homes doesn't want to keep those homes on inventory. So the best deals normally come when you buy that way. So reach out to our team. I'd love to get you a great deal on those. They have 28 homes here in Lotus Palm. Like I mentioned, this community is selling like crazy, and they'll be sold out pretty quickly. So like they're practically 90% sold. But when it comes to that next community, Lotus, whatever the heck it's called, there's going to most likely be, because of the excitement and whatnot, they will have some sort of lottery system. If you want to buy a home in Lotus Palm right now, call me. We can get a home. There's no lottery system. But when they open that new community, because of demand, when they first open these communities, generally speaking, there's a lottery system. It's frustrating for a lot of people. I know. I hear you. I speak to you guys literally every day. But reach out to our team if you want to get the inside. You want to get on the inside track when it comes to getting on that list or what's involved, because maybe you can get a good deal. If you want to be one of the first, the people who are in the community first, generally speaking, are typically the people that get some of the best deals. So I encourage you to look at, I've been going on and on about Lotus and whatnot and Boca Raton. I encourage you to look a little bit closer at Boca. We do a thing called hotspots. If you're coming down here and you're thinking about buying in this area, reach out to our team if there are certain areas that you're thinking about. You might not be ready yet, and that's completely fine. You're here on your preliminary visit because you think this might be a spot. We have these PDF sheets that we can send you. If you're looking at Jupiter, if you're looking at West Palm Beach, if you're looking at Boca Raton, if you're looking at Boynton Beach, we have them. We'll give you guidance as to what you should be looking at when it comes to exploring these areas. We have one for Boca Raton. And you want to know, there's a lot to be said about Boca Raton. It is a big place. It's divided in sort of 3 areas. The downtown area, the central part, and western Boca. This western Boca part is exploding. If you go east, there's a university called Florida Atlantic University. It is the attendance for that school and the level of its academic level is rising, primarily because so many people are moving to this area here in South Florida. The cost to you out of pocket to get independent representation is nothing out of your pocket. It's the builder who pays us, and they're happy to do so. I challenge you to ask them. They'll tell you. They actually will tell you that there's no difference. If you go to them directly or use a company like us, they will tell you there's no difference. But with us, you get the guidance of experience when it comes to working in the new construction community. If there's an existing home for sale in this community, the builder's not going to tell you. They want to sell their new homes. We will. We don't have any. There's no skin off our back whether you buy an existing home here or a new construction home. At the end of the day, we want to help you do what's best for your family. The other factor is, if this is not the right fit for you, there are other communities in the area. I have a relationship, my company and I have a relationship with all the builders in the area. We have very strong relationships. They call us and let us know what's going on. So if I think this is not necessarily a good fit, I might recommend that you check this community out and that community out. It's one of the benefits with independent representation and working with us and living in Palm Beach, Florida. We would be there for the whole transaction, not just the introduction to the builder, but throughout the contract, the inspections. We can help you. If you are out of town and you want someone from time to time take a video of the progress, we can do that for you. We have clients that do that all the time. So reach out to our team if you want to know more about what it looks like. Set up that consultation. If you want to know more of what it looks like, get independent representation. The other thing I have to say about that is if you go to their website, so right now you're watching this, you might be hitting up their website, Lotus Palm, Boca Raton. Don't register with them. I'll tell you why. Whether it's this community or any other community, if you register with these people, what they do is they automatically assign you with a consultant. You don't want that. I know these communities really well. I know the consultants at these communities. I want the best, the one that's going to fight hardest for you, working on your side with us as a team. So if you just register, what they'll do is they'll assign you whoever's up next, like as if you were walking into an auto dealership. Have someone that's going to have good follow through. I work with consultants that have great follow through. I vet them. I make sure that these are the right people, and I have pretty much one or two people in almost every community, and I have one here, Lotus Palm, and all of Lotus. One of the best things about what GL Homes, by the way, here. This is my official GL Homes tape measure. Again, I work with the builders a lot, and lots of times I'm on site on new construction homes that are being built, because sometimes people will buy what they call quick delivery homes. Quick delivery homes is a great way to get a good deal too, I must say. You can lots of times, if a home is already started and the permits are pulled and all that kind of stuff, lots of times you'll get a better deal. Reach out to our team if you want to learn more about that. But one of the things I want to mention, if you're out of town, what GL Homes has a thing called stay and play. I've had clients use this often. It is a really good idea. They will actually, if you come into town and you want to know if this is a good community for you, whether it's this one or any other GL call or most of the GL home communities, we see a lot of it up in Port St. Lucie in the Riverland community. But all these communities in general, they have this program where you can actually live in the house while you're here. So instead of staying in a hotel for that 1 or 2 nights, they will let you stay on premises in this community, live in their house free of charge. It's basically their way of saying, we want you to get an understanding of what it's like to live in our beautiful community here in South Florida. We highly recommend take them up on their stay and play program. One of the things I can say about this community, about most GL communities, CDD. If you don't know what a CDD is and you're buying new construction here in Florida, you need to know. There is no CDD fee in this community. There are no CDD fees in most of the GL communities. It's worked into the price. So there's no hidden costs in that regard when it comes to buying a GL Homes and new construction. Not all communities are like that. We can help determine which ones do and which ones don't, because sometimes that can be a surprise, and you don't want surprises when you're buying a new construction home here in Florida. So if you are thinking about moving here to South Florida and specifically want to target Boca Raton, we highly recommend you check out Lotus Palm or any of the other Lotus communities here in the southern part of Palm Beach County. Lotus Palm, Boca Raton, Palm Beach, paradise here in South Florida.